It is my honor and pleasure to announce the Academy for Eating Disorders 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award to go to the incomparable Tim Walsh. This award is the highest honor for individuals who have demonstrated pioneering lifetime contributions to the Academy for Eating Disorders and to the field in areas of treatment, research, education, and administration. Dr. Walsh is the William and Joy Ruan Professor of Pediatric Psychopharmacology in the Department of Psychiatry at Columbia University and Director of the Division of Clinical Therapeutics at New York State Psychiatric Institute. He is the author and editor or co-editor of 5 books on adolescent health and eating disorders. He has been profoundly influential and touched the careers in the most beneficent of ways of many generations of eating disorder scholars. Dr. Walsh headed the eating disorders section for the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-5 and has been president of both AED and the Eating Disorders Research Society. His research group at Columbia has long conducted some of the most pioneering multidisciplinary research, bridging the field from fundamental insights to clinical practice. Next, I'd like to share with you some of the words of his close colleagues over the years. His colleague, Kathy Pike, from the early years and on to the present, a close colleague of Tim's through the ages. She shared this photo and these words. Tim Walsh leads with integrity, clarity, purpose, intelligence, curiosity, and fairness. I had the good fortune of being among his first generation of mentees, along with Evelyn Attia and Mike Devlin. Over the course of his career, Tim mentored multiple generations of clinicians and researchers, and throughout, he led by example. His scholarship in the field represents extraordinary breadth and depth, from biological studies to clinical treatment studies, from diagnostic classification to brain behavior models of risk and more. Dr. Pike goes on to add, for those of us lucky enough to work closely with Tim, he also modeled how to have the highest work ethic and still go on to your kids' swim meets and baseball games. He championed many professional women early in our careers and always celebrated our growing families, even if it meant more complexity in running our studies and submitting our grants. And even after I moved to Japan, Dr. Pike says, Tim's mentorship and collaboration were unfailing. In his matter-of-fact way, Tim never thought what he was doing was special. That's what makes him so extraordinary. Thank you, BTW1, Dr. Pike writes. Next, I'd like to share with you the thoughts of AED past president Anne Becker, who offered these thoughts on the middle years and Tim's role in leading the eating disorders work group for DSM-5. Dr. Becker writes, Tim Walsh has been an inspirational leader in the field of eating disorders. Through his numerous contributions toward an empirical understanding of eating disorders nosology and effective treatment, as IJED Associate Editor, and as former AED President, just to name a few. Of these, perhaps most emblematic of Tim's unparalleled talent as a leader was his work as chair of the DSM-5 Eating Disorders Work Group, where he led a serious process that could have been exhausting, tedious, contentious, but instead felt animated with purpose and was remarkably also as fun as it was productive. She writes, that was amazing. And finally, I'd like to share the words of Tim's longtime colleague, Evelyn Attia at Columbia University, who shared this photo with me for the current team. Dr. Attia writes, Tim is known for his many scientific accomplishments, his unwavering dedication to the field of eating disorders, his good citizenship, and willingness to serve in any and every position of leadership, membership, reviewership, editorship that holds promise for moving the field forward. find answers to the mysteries of the illnesses we treat, and help patients and families along the way. Dr. Attia continues, but as someone who has worked closely with Tim for over 30 years, I think what's most incredible about Tim is his extraordinary dedication to mentorship. Throughout his career, even as a more junior faculty member, still with so many of his own accomplishments ahead of him, Tim demonstrated an unusual and consistently generous spirit that had him always offering to share a project, build a team, teach someone something new, and help a colleague advance. His enthusiasm for the work has always been infectious. He invites anyone who'll listen to join in conversations about how to ask a key research question, approach finding its answer, write clearly to help let others know what was found, and all the while find joy and laughter in the shared work. Luckily, Tim has had a hand in training so many of us that we can hope that many of these life lessons will have seeded the next generations of clinicians, researchers, educators in the field. After hearing these words of Doctors Pike, Becker, and Attia, we all can envision the countless mentees and colleagues whose lives and careers Tim Walsh has enriched. For all of these reasons, the Academy for Eating Disorders is delighted to honor Tim Walsh with the AED 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award for his extraordinary and sustained contributions to the field of eating disorders.
Thank you, Bryn. It's a kind introduction, and thank you for showing those pictures too, I think. I'd like to take just a minute to make a couple of comments. First, I should provide the physical evidence that, in fact, here is the proof that I have received this award. A couple of comments. Late in the last century, I was the third president of the AED when it was small and struggling to get off the ground. It's therefore a real special pleasure to receive this award from the now large and very impressive AED. I would like to thank not only Bryn, but the entire board of directors and all the members of the AED for honoring me with this award. I also need to thank many colleagues and friends, especially those here at Columbia, because whatever achievements I've been part of have not been mine alone, but the achievements of a terrific team of scientists and clinicians. And finally, I would also like to recognize the contributions of the research participants, without whom our work would never have been done. Thank you again.